fast. Make the first step and reach out for tomorrow. Live so
Time for an unpleasant blind guy, conservative Byte. Cecil the Lion is the big story this week. Protesters have appeared outside the office of the dentist who shot the lion, and Jimmy Kimmel is crying about it on his show. Americans are showing quite a bit of concern about this crime, and I agree that the crime of poaching is significant. What bothers me, however, is how an American people, dynamic and intelligent, with access to the greatest educational tools ever developed by man, can be so distracted and driven to action by a story like that of Cecil the Lion, and yet be so indifferent to stories like that of Cecil Mills. Now, for those who don't remember, in January of 2014, Cecil Mills, a lifelong resident of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, died of a massive heart attack across the street from a D.C. fire station. Bystanders went to the fire station, knocked on the door, and asked for help. They were told to call 911. Cecil Mills died in his daughter's arms, while firefighters across the street looked on and did nothing. There was an investigation into this incident, and most notably, 3 members of the Washington, D.C. Fire Department were chastised, but not much else was done. One firefighter was suspended for 60 hours. All firefighters involved in this incident were allowed to keep their jobs. The only exception to this was Lieutenant Kelleen Davis, who was allowed to retire with benefits. D.C. officials concluded that, procedurally speaking, there was no way that the death of Cecil Mills could have been prevented. In the light of this week's story about Cecil the Lion and reaction to his death at the hands of a hunter, I have questions, and so, in my opinion, should others. Last year, why did Jimmy Kimmel not put the faces of firefighter Remy Jones, firefighter Garrett Murphy, who was only suspended for 60 hours, and D.C. Fire Department Lieutenant Kelleen Davis, who was allowed to retire with benefits, on his program? Where were the protesters at the trial board involving the Cecil Mills case, demanding that the Washington, D.C. Fire Department develop new procedures for handling emergency cases close to their firehouses? Seeing all the outrage about Cecil the Lion, where was all the outrage for Cecil Mills and his daughter and his family and his friends? Priorities, people. If we are ever to emerge as a united nation from the dark times that we are entering now, compassion for our fellow human being is going to have to be one of our greatest priorities. And no, I don't mean compassion as in setting up a socialist system. I mean compassion in just plain giving a damn about other people. In my opinion, we will be a far better country when the outrage of the people over the death of Cecil the Lion is matched by demands for accountability and real change in the wake of the death of people like Cecil Mills. This has been an unpleasant blind guy, conservative Byte.